make before we leave that topic aside and move to pero sino. ¿Sí? ¿No? ¿Sí? ¿No? Ok. Bien. Vamos a pasar a otra cosa. Vamos a continuar, pero vamos a cambiar de tema. We're going to change the subject. Vamos a cambiar de tema. Vamos a cambiar de tema y vamos a hablar de pero o sino. Pero o sino es algo importante. Es importante entender la diferencia. Hay una palabra, solamente usamos en inglés, but. Pero en español hay pero, hay sino. Pero, ¡pum! Fácil. El uso de pero es muy fácil porque, bueno, es una palabra que todo el mundo aprende muy rápidamente en sus lecciones de español. We always learn how to say but, right? But it is also a very good idea for you to know that there is a different word that really translates better as but rather and how we might use it. Now, the video you had got into some weeds and into some really technical things, but as kind of a warm-up to this idea of using pero versus sino, we're going to watch a different video together on pero and sino, and it'll give you some listening comprehension experience, and it will also, she's going to show you some examples, and these are going to be generally, I think with the exception of one, pretty simple examples. Entonces, sí, es buena práctica para entender la diferencia y con ejemplos entre pero y sino. Aquí tenemos la preciosa Guada. We have lovely Guada here. And she is going to be using vosotros, so don't worry about that. She's talking to you guys without using ustedes, because she uses the friendly you guys, which is vosotros. Vale, bueno. A few days ago, and I noticed, Kathy, you did a very nice thing with hace and a period of time when you told your train story. That was a good thing. She's using the same thing here that you used. Hace algunos días, a few days ago. Hace algunos días, a few days ago.
Preguntasteis cuál es la diferencia entre pero y sino en
a few days ago, you guys asked me, you just need to know the preguntasteis is you guys asked. You guys asked me, what's the difference between pero and sino in Spanish?
español. Y como vuestros deseos son órdenes para mí,
as your wishes are orders for me. Your wish is my command. That's the way of saying your wish is my command. Yeah. But it's a more poetic saying, way of saying your wishes are my command.
Aquí estoy y lo voy a explicar en este video. Antes de empezar, me presento porque a lo mejor no me conoces.
First of all, I'm going to introduce myself. And remember, we can't use introducir because introducir is doing introducir is doing this. It's putting something inside of something else. Me presento. I introduce myself. I present myself. Yeah. Me presento. Porque a lo mejor no me conoces because perhaps, maybe you guys don't know me. A lo mejor is just a phrase that hangs together. A lo mejor means maybe, perhaps, perchance. A lo mejor no me conoces. Maybe you don't know me.
Mi nombre es Guada, soy profesora de español y en este canal te ayudo a mejorar tu nivel y hablar de manera un poquito más natural.
Yeah. On this channel, I help you to improve your Spanish and to speak in a little more natural way. Okay.
Pero y sino son dos conjunciones, ¿vale? ¿Y qué?
¿Qué es una conjunción? Okay. Actually, this is a thing. No es tan importante saber una conjunción, a conjunction. pero, en este caso sí es de importancia. Una conjunción es una palabra corta que conecta dos ideas. Bien? And in this case, it is actually super helpful for you to know that a conjunction's job is to connect two parts of a sentence. Because why are we connecting the two parts of the sentence? Oh, the why you're connecting it is one of the keys to understanding why we might need pero, but other times we might need sino. Okay, so that's why that conjunción. It's got a job, but why it's joining two ideas is essentially important. Okay.
Es una conjunción. Bueno, es muy fácil. Las conjunciones son palabras que usamos para unir las diferentes partes, las diferentes piezas de una oración, de una frase. Por ejemplo,
Okay, so it connects two segments, two parts of a sentence. Una oración, frase, sentence. We're connecting it. Okay.
la
Vale.
conjunción más conocida, más famosa, más fácil de usar y que seguro que aprendiste cuando empezaste a aprender español es la conjunción y. Por ejemplo,
here's the first conjunction you probably ever learned in Spanish. Y. It's a connector word. Connect stuff. Yeah. And y, the job of y is just to add things on. Right? See? Fácil. It just adds stuff on. It adds things onto a list. Okay. Vale.
si yo digo, no sé, azúcar y sal, uso la y para unir esas dos cosas. Fácil, ¿no? Entonces, pero y sino son dos conjunciones en español que tienen un significado parecido, no igual, tienen un.
They're words. Pero and sino are words that are similar, parecido, kind of alike, parecido, similar, pero no igual. They're not exactly equivalent, but they're similar in a certain way.
Un significado parecido, pero que se usan de manera diferente.
But we use them in a different context, one and the other. Okay.
Por mi experiencia en clase sé que es muy fácil confundir estas dos palabras.
It's very easy to confuse these two words because that's been our theme this summer, things that you can get mixed up
Ya que en muchos idiomas se traducen como una sola palabra.
In many languages, this can be translated. It only means one word. And this is the danger of translation. Once again, rearing its ugly head. If you try to translate, generally in English, the only way to translate this is with the idea of the word but, with one T. But, all right? And on the other hand, there is a difference between the two. Okay.
Así que mi consejo desde ahora
My advice
es que
is
no intentes traducirlas a tu propio idioma, porque
don't try to translate these words to your language. Ooh, yeah. And this is one of those cases. Don't try to translate
solo te
these.
vas a confundir. Así que venga, vamos a explicar qué significan estas dos palabras y vamos a intentar entender cómo se usan con ejemplos.
So we're going to try to understand how we use these with examples.
Empezamos con pero.
And pero you're going to understand immediately because you're used to it. Okay.
Pero se usa para unir dos ideas o dos pensamientos que contrastan entre sí.
Que chocan, that crash. Pero is used to unite two parts of a sentence, two ideas, yeah, two thoughts that contrast, que chocan, that clash. Two clashing ideas. But I love you, but oh, the thing nobody wants to hear. I love you, but oh, the thing that no 16-year-old wants to hear. Yeah. So two ideas that chocan, they crash into each other. All right. Two things that are fighting against each other.
Chocan, como que luchan, ¿vale? Que son diferentes, contrastan. Por ejemplo, a mí me encanta viajar, pero cuesta mucho dinero.
I like to travel, but
money.
It costs a lot of money. So we have a positive idea. I like to travel. But then we have kind of a subtractor connection. Yeah. And the connection is, oh, but here's a disadvantage. It costs. Okay. That's our reason for using pero. Java pero is we have two ideas that they are working against each other. They're working against each other. Okay. A ver.
O me encanta viajar, pero no tengo suficiente tiempo.
I like to travel. I love to travel, but I don't have enough time. Pero no tengo suficiente tiempo. I don't have enough time.
O por
Vale.
ejemplo, imagínate que estoy hablando de otra persona y digo, ah, sí, sí, ese chico es muy listo, pero es muy arrogante.
Oh, yeah, that kid. Ese chico es muy listo. Listo. He's sharp. He's clever. He's smart. He's a smarty. Pero es muy arrogante. But he's arrogant, snotty, full of himself. Listo. Oh, what a positive characteristic. But there's a different side to him. Yeah. So that the idea of listo and arrogante, one is a nice concept, one is a not very attractive concept. Yeah. So that's what she means by chocan. Yeah. And the pero is telling you, ooh, there's a plus, but here comes a minus. There's a plus, but here comes a minus. And the pero introduces you to, ooh, there's going to be a contrast here that doesn't line up, something that doesn't line up and play nice with the idea of listo. Okay? The arrogante is not something that comes to your mind when you think of somebody who's smart. Arrogante, somebody doesn't have to be arrogant, but they're smart. Okay?
Es muy listo, pero...
Should there be two R's in pero?
No.
Dog.
Perro, bow, wow, 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 wow. Un schnauzer. Un schnauzer es un perro, ¿sí? Un pastor alemán, a German shepherd. Sí, perro es doggy, pero, but, yeah. Pero gets a single little flap of your tongue. Okay, vale. Yeah, there are two words, yeah? They're very, very close. Pero y perro. What's the difference? The strong trail versus not. If you're not paying a lot of attention, that could like go over your head. Es así. Okay.
Los
Continuamos.
perros de los vecinos...
So Marilyn,
Sí.
generally, when you're using pero, generally, do you have the positive first and the negative second, or does it make any difference?
Not necessarily. Just two ideas that don't quite align with each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Mi casa es grande, pero no muy lujosa. My house is big, but it's not really luxurious. See? No soy muy fuerte, pero soy atlética. I'm not super strong, but I'm athletic. I'm not strong. No soy una persona muy fuerte, pero soy atlética, but I'm athletic.
Okay.
Right. The pero just tells you something that you won't connect with that first idea. It's going to come up. Something
Right.
that doesn't necessarily line up with your expectation. And the pero tells you something is going to come up that, doesn't line up with that part or corresponds to that description in the first part. Okay. And now she gets off track. And now she does use perros. The neighbor's dogs decided to start barking.
A ladrar ahora que estoy grabando el video.
Now Now that I'm recording, they decided to start barking. Okay.
Nos calmamos.
Yeah. Can we quiet down over there? Nos calmamos.
A ver, como podéis ver en el último ejemplo, al principio, en la primera parte de la oración, digo una característica positiva de esa persona.
So here she did use the positive first, but it won't necessarily be that way. You'll see.
Y después de usar pero, empiezo a hablar de algo negativo. Son
So here, the contrast is that we have a starting a positive description, but pairing up a negative minus that you don't expect along with that positive. Okay. That's
dos
the job
ideas
of perro.
que
Pero.
contrastan. Otro ejemplo, me encanta el perro de mi vecino, pero a veces hace demasiado ruido.
I love my neighbor's dog, but sometimes he makes too much noise. I love that doggy, but despite the love, he's loud. He makes a lot of noise. And pero is connecting a not great aspect of the dog with, oh, but he's so cute. Yeah. All right. So pero tells you something different is coming up, something that contrasts with the first part of the sentence is going to come up.
A veces me molesta. Venga, ya sabemos usar pero ahora hay que ver cuál es la diferencia con sino. ¿Cuál es la diferencia? ¿Por qué tenemos dos palabras diferentes en español? Sino también se usa para expresar oposición o contraste entre
Sino is also used to express opposition or contrast, things that are doing this. Sino also has that job, but in a special context, you'll see what it
dos
is.
ideas, pero se usa de manera muy diferente. Lo usamos para negar una idea, ¿vale? Para negar la primera idea.
We use it to negate the first idea and present an alternative. Okay.
Y para presentar una alternativa. ¿Qué?
Yeah, what?
Tranquis. Vamos a verlo con ejemplos, que así es mucho más fácil. Por ejemplo, este libro no es rojo, sino rosa.
And notice how she presented this. Here, we're saying the first part of the half of the sentence is not even true, is not even correct. You had the wrong idea. Este libro no es rojo. This book isn't red. I'm going to tell you what it is instead. No es rojo. We're negating, we're talking about a negative idea first. It's not what you think. Red? Really? You thought red? But I'm going to tell you what it is. And that's the job of sino. Sino will introduce something that says, you thought wrong about this idea. It's this instead. That's the job of sino. And generally, if you can inject the English idea of but rather, that's when sino is correct.
So,
Okay.
Marilyn, your example of I'm not strong, but I'm athletic, why wouldn't that be sino instead of pero?
But yeah, kind of hard to explain. No soy I'm just connecting those two ideas, but you know, the strong and the athletic, they're they don't necessarily negate each other. But here I'm saying this color you had was completely wrong.
Oh, okay.
I'm putting a different color in totally. Strong and athletic are kind of connected in the same realm of physical.
Yeah.
I know this is where it can get a little bit tough, but we're going to show you some really specific examples of how this works. Okay. So notice it's not red. Wow. What is wrong with your eyes that you thought that was red? I'm telling you, it's not red at all. I am telling you that red was the wrong idea to even from the get-go. And I'm going to tell you what it is instead. Sino rosa. Somebody asked in my morning class, is it okay? What if I have a brain fart? and I just say, can I say to somebody, este libro no es rojo, pero rosa? Can't I just say pero? This book isn't red, but pink. Well, you can, but it'll sound totally weird to them. It will sound, that will make people who are listening go, huh? It will really sound weird to them. That is the kind of mistake that will sound super odd. It makes them do blip, blip, they miss a beat. Like, what did you say? I'm shaking my head. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. Pero never works with this idea. Okay, she'll give you others.
No es
Marilyn?
rojo, sino rosa.
Sí.
I'm sorry. In that sentence, if you didn't want to use sino, no es rojo, es rosa. Would that be correct? To me, it sounds right. And you don't even put pero or sino in. You said es rosa.
People generally won't say that.
Oh, so it's not right.
Well, a little better because you injected that word es.
Mm-hmm.
But really, what you're doing is saying, oh, you had that all wrong. That thing of rojo, you had that all wrong. I'll help you figure out what it is instead.
So if you say es rosa, it's very emphatic.
No.
Almost as an.
It's just this idea of you're correcting an incorrect, you're fixing or correcting an incorrect assumption, an incorrect idea, and you're injecting, here's what's right. That little thing that she said about una alternativa, you're giving an alternative. You are giving what the true nature of that thing is. And it is best shown with examples. And you'll see, we're going to see more examples beyond this. But I want you to see these examples first. Okay. 2 minutos para el vídeo.
Primero niego la primera parte, no es rojo, ¿verdad? Este libro no es rojo. Y después doy una alternativa, sino rosa, es rosa. Este libro no es rojo, sino que es rosa. No sé si se ve bien el color, pero es una edición preciosa de una habitación propia. O, por ejemplo, si volvemos al ejemplo del principio, en ese ejemplo en el que yo quería viajar, pero no tenía mucho tiempo, ¿no? Con pero he dicho, me encanta viajar, pero no tengo tiempo, no tengo suficiente tiempo.
Okay, so this is correct. Me encanta viajar, pero no tengo suficiente dinero. And you know how to say an idea like that. That sounds really normal to you. Okay.
Si quiero expresar lo mismo usando
Now, if I want to use the same idea, but I want to use sino, I can kind of tweak the way I say that sentence in that case a little
sino,
bit.
tengo que negar la parte inicial. Entonces puedo decir, no es que no quiera irme de vacaciones, sino que no tengo tiempo.
Ah, no es que no quiera irme de vacaciones. It's not that I don't want to go on vacation, but rather that I haven't got time. So now what I'm going to caution you on is this is a difficult sentence for you guys to produce just off the top of your head. But what she's doing is, I'm just going to show you because you're not going to have to do this kind of sentence. Para que sepan, so you're aware. We sometimes do this in English, and we're sometimes warned not to do this as much as we do in English. It's that whole thing of using lots and lots of negatives in one sentence. Oh, it's not that I don't like dogs, but it's just that I hate cleaning up after them. It's kind of like that idea, but we're using lots of negatives. This kind of sentence requires a lot of mental gymnastics, does it not?
Yeah,
Are you seriously that's gonna be the first thing that comes into your mind?
no.
The answer is no. The answer is no. So we're going to let her move on because now they're going to give you some difficult examples, but they're valid. But we're going to go for the easier
No
ones.
tengo dinero. No es que no quiera irme de vacaciones, sino que no puedo.
But notice she started with a very, very negative idea and she plugged in a totally different idea here. Okay.
O por ejemplo, me encanta la pizza, me encanta la pizza, pero me sienta muy mal el queso.
Ah, I love pizza, but cheese doesn't set well with me. Or we might say in English, cheese doesn't agree with my system. Okay. Bien. And here she's got positive, positive, positive. I like pizza, but there's a negative side to eating pizza. And because we're just doing a positive idea with a negative side effect, we use pero to join those. Okay. She's going to rework that sentence to show you how maybe it might use sino, maybe. But notice this first part here with pero is all positive, positive, positive.
Me sienta fatal el queso. O no es que no me guste la pizza, sino que me sienta fatal.
Ah, bien. Let me take these off. It's not that, and notice now she's starting with a negative. Oh, it's not that I like pizza. Or it's not that I don't like pizza. It's not that I don't like pizza. It's not negative that I don't like another negative pizza. And we are sometimes correctly told, stop doing that in English. It kind of confuses people if you're speaking quickly to talk that way, even in English. It really is. It can be. It's something in English to kind of avoid, but we do it. And okay, well, they do it too. It's not that negative. I don't like negative again, pizza, but rather that it doesn't agree with my system. No me siente, or okay, me siente fatal. It sits badly with me. But that's a way to, and she uses a sino que because she's got a conjugated verb. Don't worry too much about that. Don't worry too much about that. But if I attach a whole verb phrase rather than just a thing, it'll become not just sino, but sino que. You won't have to use that yet, so don't
No es
worry
que no
about
me
it.
guste, sino que me sienta muy mal el queso. O por ejemplo, lo que me pasa a mí siempre aquí en Italia, que la gente piensa que me llamo Yada.
Here comes a better example. She's saying she lives in Italy. People are used to an Italian name, Giada, and people call me by my wrong name. So she's going to tell you how you can correct people, how she corrects people.
Que es un nombre italiano. Yo podría decir, no me llamo Yada, sino Guada.
My name isn't Giada, it's a negative, but she's just using one, so it's not so confusing. Oh, my name's not Giada, but rather Guada. You thought my name was Giada? Oh, I'm so sorry to tell you you're wrong. I'm going to tell you what my name really is. So I'm going to tell you what it really is because you were wrong. We got to plug in sino. But notice now it's sino guada. One thing, sino guada. My name's not Giada, but Guada. But rather Guada. That's why we use sino. This is a good example. Oh, you got my name wrong. I'll tell you what it really is. I'm providing you the alternative, la alternativa de Guada. Okay.
No me llamo Yada, sino Guada.
Guada, Guadalupe.
Así
Guadalupe.
que, como hemos visto, pero se usa para contrastar dos ideas diferentes. Y sino también, pero cuando usamos sino, primero negamos algo y después
But so first we really have to say something is like wrong in the first half of the sentence. And then the job of sino is to say, I'm going to tell you what's right. That's why. You can see it better with examples.
ofrecemos una
Okay.
alternativa. Si quieres practicar un poco de español, escribe en los comentarios un ejemplo usando una de estas dos palabras, pero o sino, y yo te corregiré. Y si tienes otra duda de gramática que quieres...
Okay. And that's all she's got. So let's go to now. Let's see if we can plug in these ideas. Now, there are some ideas of sino versus sino que. Don't worry too much about the sino que. Sino que means instead of just saying, oh, my name is Guada, and that's a one word thing, you're going to plug in a whole sentence. Sino que me llamo Guada. Sino que me llamo Guada. If I inject a whole verb, me llamo, then it's sino que. That's all you need to know right now. You're going to use sino by itself with just a one word or a shorty kind of alternative, much, much more than anything else. Okay, vale, a ver. Pam, 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 pam. A ver.
Pregunta,
Sí, dime.
do you say pero que in the same way that you would say sino
No.
que when you use
Buena pregunta. Pero is never pero que.
Oh, okay.
Just pero.
okay.
Boom. Nada más. Nothing else. Okay. Vamos a ver algunos ejemplos. Let's take a look at some examples. You're going to get most of them right. Maybe not all of them, but that's okay. Vale. Por ejemplo. Aquí. We don't buy apples. I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger. Un poquito más grande. Wow. Eso no. Eso sí. No compramos manzanas. We're not buying apples, but rather pears. You're saying, what? You thought we were buying apples?
Sino.
Sina. This idea about apples, boy, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you what we are doing. Here's my alternative, peras. This is an example right here. Pero to a native speaker does not make sense. Really sounds weird. I can't even say no compramos manzanas, pero peras. I have a hard time even saying that sentence. It feels so weird. If you use pero in there, people will notice and they'll do a Anya. Okay, will they get the big idea? Yeah, but it's going to sound really, really weird to them. Okay, vale. Hace calor, and the idea we're connecting is llueve.
Pero,
Sí. When you just say hace calor, it's hot. There's nothing wrong about that. That's correct. Sure, it's hot. But it's raining, yeah. Hot and rain, hot and wet, hot. You think hot and dry maybe, but wet. This is our life. We live this. Hace calor, pero llueve. See? Okay. Vale. So, pero it's the contrast of heat, rain. The heat part isn't wrong. It's just that you're connecting those two. Okay. They're contrast. Okay. Spaniards are loud, also friendly. Los españoles son ruidosos,
pero
también simpáticos. Okay. Pero en sino, you have to develop from seeing lots of examples, just a gut feeling and go with that. Los españoles son ruidosos. It's just a characteristic. I'm not saying anybody has an incorrect idea with that statement. Los españoles son ruidosos. That's just a statement, but it's not indicating anybody is wrong about anything or has a misconception. We're saying, wow, even though they're super loud, well, but they're really nice. Yeah. So they're just contrasting ideas, and we can connect those with pero. All right. Vale. Mi amigo no duerme.
Sino.
My
Hmm.
buddy's not asleep. Hey, he's just.
Thinking about his own-
And notice we can inject the idea of but rather.
Mhm.
Yeah.
W-
He's not sleeping. Now, somebody in English may say this idea as my friend's not sleeping, but he's thinking with his, and we might only say but in English. We might. And nobody would think, well, you're weird. Why did you say that? They wouldn't think that. You might say but, or you might say but rather. And in English, it wouldn't really matter all that much. But in Spanish, it does matter. With this particular idea, nobody would use pero. Because you're saying, look at what you're saying. No duerme.
Okay.
Oh, he's not asleep. Why did you have that idea? He's not asleep.
Marilyn,
He's just thinking.
if,
Sí,
if we
bien.
were to if we were to substitute in lugar de sino, sin embargo, same meaning to me, but
Sin embargo,
nonetheless, however, that would be the sino to me.
yeah, that's in the ballpark.
Okay.
I'll say
Thank
that's
you.
in the ballpark. That's in the ballpark. But this happens to be a sino que because I've got a whole conjugated verb. Don't worry about the que. Don't worry about the que. Okay, you had a little bit of a training wheels issue here because you had a but rather. They gave you that's the giveaway. The idea of but rather is a giveaway. So let's take some training wheels off and we'll show some examples. Now, some of these examples are hard and we won't do every example closely because some are kind of gotcha questions. You know what I mean? Yeah. We want to do things that are obvious that you might actually use. This is what somebody says when they're laying in bed and it's 5 a.m.
I don't want to get up.
and your spouse says time to exercise
Oh, no.
because it's the only time we can. My
Good
life
job.
is mi vida. But notice how this is expressed. No quiero levantarme. Notice how it's expressed. No quiero levantarme.
Sino.
Quedar, to be left.
What is this idea saying? How would we say this in English?
I don't want to get up. I'd rather stay in bed.
I don't want to get up, but instead, I'm staying in bed.
Rather than has to be sino.
Is your idea of getting up correct about me?
Yeah. That's not.
No, it's like this idea of, no quiero levantarme says, what? Are you out of your mind? No, I'm not doing that. Right? Yeah, that's what that sentence is saying. Okay, so let's check off your sino. Correcto. I don't want to get up, but rather stay in bed. Yeah. And there it's just sino, not sino que, because I haven't conjugated quedar. I'm contrasting levantar me with quedar. And quedar is not conjugated. That's why it's just sino without the que. That's all. That's all you need to know. Okay. Siguiente.
La
Hice, I made. Hice la sopa, I made the soup. No hice el postre. I didn't make the dessert.
Pero.
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 And that came out as a knee-jerk reaction, and you're correcto.
Yeah.
Pero. Is there anything incorrect about saying this statement? No, that's just what I did, right? Hice, I made. Hice la sopa. And I just want to correct you. Oh, this other course, that's not my handiwork. Yeah. No hice el postre. I didn't make that. I'm just connecting those two ideas. They're opposed. Made this one, didn't make this one. But see, we're starting off with a supposition that is valid, correct. You're right. You're right on that count. Hice la sopa. I made the soup, but I didn't make the dessert. Okay. This one's a little more challenging. Ayer llovió. Yesterday it rained. No se inundaron las calles. The streets didn't flood. Another good phrase for Phoenix.
That's
Yesterday it rained, but the streets didn't flood.
two statements.
Pero,
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 Pero, let's plug that in. Pero, ayer llovió. There's nothing incorrect about that statement, supposition. You're on target. Ayer llovió. Yeah, it rained. Okay. There's no negated activity in that first half. So sino wouldn't make any sense. Yeah. We're just connecting those two opposite ideas. Flooding, rain. Yeah. Oh, not flooding, even though it rained. Okay. Bien. We're going to skip that one. We're going to skip that one. Oh, here's another one that is a common conversational idea. No estudio ingeniería computación. Here is a conversation with your neighbor's college-age kid. No estudio ingeniería. I'm not studying engineering. Sino computación. Sino, why? ¿Por qué?
you're correcting.
You're correcting. Yeah,
You're giving an alternative.
I'm giving an alternatives. I'm saying up front, oh, that idea you had about engineering? No. But I'm going to correct you and tell you what it is instead. And I plug in just this one idea, computación, computer science. Yeah. I'm not studying engineering, but rather computer science. Okay. That is something somebody may say. Okay. This is also something people may say. I like chocolate,
But I don't like ice cream.
but I don't like ice creams.
pero,
Pero, both true.
opposing idea.
That's fine.
Pero. Is there anything negative or, hey, Charlie, you got the wrong idea about that statement? No, yeah. I'm just contrasting chocolate with ice cream, yeah, and my feelings about them. I can connect those with pero, yeah. I'm not correcting the me gusta el chocolate. There's nothing to correct about me gusta el chocolate, right? Okay, vale. Siguiente. Esta noche no vamos al cine.
This is,
We're not going to the movies,
but rather.
but we are going out and we're going to a different place, not el cine. Sino.
You know,
Esta noche no vamos al cine,
Sino.
sino al teatro. It's like saying to somebody, cine, movies? You got that wrong. I'm going to tell you where we are going. And here comes alternativa, al teatro. Yeah. A totally different place than what you were thinking, cine. No, teatro. Teatro. Okay. Bien. And some of these other examples are, one more, uno más, un ejemplo más. Me encanta el karate. I love karate. Judo es mi pasión.
Pero,
Pero,
Pero, ¿por qué?
they're both true.
joining two ideas.
I'm just comparing the two ideas. There's nothing incorrect or you got it wrong, Jack, about me encanta el karate. Yeah, that's right. That's true. I'm just comparing them. They're two different sports. Yeah. Bien. So, un poquito mejor, a little better, little better. There is no pero que. Yeah, there is no pero que, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. It's always pero. But in sino, usually we're just injecting one simple thing or idea, right? Sino que means there's going to be a verb phrase, a mini sentence coming along. Yeah, see? Bien. I'm going to give you a different page to go to see if you can test yourself on this a little more for next week. It'll be a fill in the blank and it'll give you the answers when you're done. Now, there's one for sure on this list. There's a list of 12. I'll give you the website. It's a really simple one. There is one thing on this list that I would say might cause some confusion pretty legitimately. But I'm going to tell you that out of 12, you will easily get 8 right. And you know what? 8 out of 12.
Okay.
Pretty good. Yeah. But you'll get it right. So you'll probably be able to get 8 out of 12 correct. Bien? Bien. Okay. Vale. Para la semana que viene, you're going to get that little homework piece on the pero sino to do on your own to kind of quiz yourself, see how well you did. If you don't know why, I don't think it gives you a reason why, but come back and we'll tell you why next week. We did all of our corrections about el tren. You're going to get a very delightful plain old listening video besides that grammar homework. And the little video is es de la Ciudad de México, DF, Distrito Federal, un tour, un recorrido, a tour of Mexico City. It's very cute. It's not about grammar per se. It's just for fun. You will absolutely get the main idea. I'm going to give you in the email, there are, I believe, 2 or maybe 3 terms, probably 3 vocab words I absolutely need to give you. And the rest of that, I don't want you to do turn on the CC subtitles, subtítulos, subtitle. Do click the CC box, but I don't want you to look up any words. Go for the big idea. And if there's a real turn of phrase that totally confuses you beyond the, I think, 3 words I'll give you in the email, refrain, do the best you can, but bring it back and say, this snippet, Marilyn, we need to go through this. You need to tell me what this is about. Okay, so you're going to get that. You're going to get yet one more thing to read about